Hello everyone, this is your anime octopus, coming at you with another exciting discussion. Today's topic is, what if Naruko was the strongest upper moon? Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer, the content on this channel is for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own any of the anime footage used in my videos. All rights and credits go to their respective creators and copyright holders. Alright, let's jump right in. On a quiet autumn night, under a glowing moon, a great swirl of shimmering light appeared near the Hidden Leaf village. It wasn't frightening, it was powerful and warm, like a story waiting to be told. That night, a baby girl was born with bright blue eyes and soft golden hair. Her parents named her Naruko Uzumaki. Her mother, Kushina, held her close and smiled tiredly. Her father, Minato, watched over them both with gentle pride. Something special rested within Naruko, not a monster, not a curse, but a guardian spirit made of pure energy, sealed away to protect the village and Naruko herself. Minato whispered softly. May you grow strong, kind, and free to choose your own path. And with that blessing, Naruko's journey began. Seedling emoji, growing up different, seedling emoji. As Naruko grew, she noticed something early on: people didn't always understand her. Some villagers avoided her. Others whispered when she walked by. They didn't know the truth, only stories passed along without kindness. But no one hurt her, and no one chased her. Instead, Naruko faced something quieter and harder: loneliness. She lived in a small but cozy apartment filled with sunlight and plants she cared for herself. When she felt sad, she would sit by the window and talk to the moon. Someday, she'd say, smiling softly, they'll see me for who I really am. Sparkles emoji, a power of her own, sparkles emoji. On the night before her 7th birthday, Naruko ran across the rooftops, not because she was afraid, but because she loved the wind in her hair. As moonlight touched her hands, something wonderful happened. Shimmering shapes, gentle, glowing symbols, floated around her like stars. They weren't weapons. They were protective lights, responding to her feelings. Naruko laughed in surprise. This isn't the guardian spirit, she realized. This is me. The light faded peacefully, as if proud of her discovery. Orange heart emoji, those who chose to care, orange heart emoji. Not everyone misunderstood Naruko. A few village protectors watched over her quietly: Nico, Okami, Kuma, and Itachi. They never hovered, never forced her to smile. They simply made sure she was safe and reminded her that she mattered. On her birthday, Nico handed her a small wrapped gift. Happy birthday, Naruko, she said warmly. Naruko smiled, truly smiled. Thank you for seeing me. Cherry blossom emoji, a village learns, cherry blossom emoji. The village leader, an old man with kind eyes, began to notice something important. Naruko wasn't dangerous. She wasn't cold. She wasn't angry. She was brave, curious, and kind, even when others weren't. Slowly, things began to change. The whispers grew quieter. The distance grew smaller. And Naruko kept growing, strong not because of power, but because of heart. Full moon emoji, Naruko's promise, full moon emoji. One night, under the moon she loved so much, Naruko made a promise to herself. I will protect others, not because I have to, but because I choose to. I'll grow into someone who brings light, not fear. And the moon shone brighter, as if it agreed. No. Naruko agreed with Itachi. Hokage-sama has been too lenient with these villagers. He needs to take action against this injustice, she said firmly. Sarutobi sighed, rubbing his forehead. If I lose Itachi and Nico, then Kuma and Okami might leave too. Those 4 are the village's strongest, and I especially need Itachi in case the Uchiha clan grows restless. I can't afford to lose them. The Hokage reluctantly nodded. Fine. You and Nico will be their guardians. Best decision you've made so far in your 2nd term, Nico remarked with a smirk. But Hokage-sama. Leave it be, Inu. He was serious about his warning, and we cannot risk anyone getting hurt. These 2 are the only ones he trusts now. Also, Naruto's anger. If uncontrolled, it could lead to disaster. Clean up the mess and dismiss the council. That night, Naruko sat on her bed, gazing at the new powers she'd discovered. Alongside her regular ninja tools, she noticed 2 shimmering chakrams and a pair of glowing red clubs. What is this power I've gained? She wondered aloud. Suddenly, a calm voice whispered, I can explain. What? She exclaimed, and the world around her dimmed. Moments later, she awoke in a strange, shadowy space that felt like her own mind. Where am I? Naruko asked, looking around. This is your mind, said a mysterious figure, a fox with 9 tails, its eyes shining with intelligence. So? You are the Kyubi no Kitsune, Naruko said in awe. I thought you'd be bigger. The fox tilted her head. I am Tomomi. You carry great power, Naruko. The seal that bound me here was meant to protect you. Naruko frowned. Why me? Why was I chosen to hold this power? Tomomi's 9 tails flickered. Because you are brave and clever, Naruko. You have a rare gift called the Kekkei Genkai of nothingness. Those who wielded it before were warriors who shaped history. As you grow, you will learn to control light and shadow, to shape your own destiny. And your enemy, Madara Uchiha, seeks to combine the Baijuu to control the world, but you are strong enough to stop him. Naruko's eyes narrowed. Then I must learn. I won't let anyone misuse my power. Good, Tomomi said, her form shifting into a silver-haired woman wearing an elegant warrior outfit. I can take this form to guide you better. We will train together. Naruko smiled, a determined glint in her eye. Then tomorrow, training begins. And I'll make sure our village is safe, for everyone. Dash. The next day, Naruko arrived at the academy, where she met her classmates. Sakura Haruno, 8, loves flowers and caring for others. Choji Akimichi, 8, gentle, loves food and helping friends. Ino Yamanaka, 8, curious and friendly, enjoys family and art. Shikamaru Nara, 8, smart and laid back, loves strategy games. Kiba Inuzuka, 8, energetic, loves animals and adventure. Shino Aburame, 8, quiet, skilled with insects and observation. Hinata Hyuga, 8, kind-hearted, shy, but strong-willed. Sasuke Uchiha, 9, serious and focused, trains hard to be stronger. Ami, 8, adventurous, enjoys the stars and dancing in the rain. Tokiko Namikaze, 9, passionate and determined, dreams of surpassing her parents. Naruko, 9, strong, clever, independent, and determined to master her powers. Naruko stayed quiet in the back, observing everyone. Tokiko gave her a sympathetic glance, sensing Naruko's connection to Tomomi, but Naruko didn't notice. Iruka smiled warmly. Let's start with sparring practice. Pair up. Naruko was paired with Shino Aburame. They circled each other, testing their skills. Shino attacked first, and Naruko ducked, countering with a clever move that made Shino spin, but he quickly corrected himself. You're strong, Shino, Naruko said. But your attacks rely on your insects. You are correct, Naruko-san, Shino admitted. Naruko raised her fists. Then maybe I should try using my bloodline powers. Her eyes glowed faintly, a hint of her Kekkei Genkai ready to awaken. Shino tilted his head slightly at Naruko's question, thoughtful as ever. But the senseis might not agree, he said calmly. Naruko smiled and shook her head. A true shinobi learns to use every tool wisely, she replied. That doesn't mean being unkind. It means understanding the world as it is, and choosing to grow stronger in a good way. Shino considered her words and slowly nodded. From beneath his sleeves, his kikaiku gently emerged, humming softly as they moved. Naruko watched them with curiosity. So the Aburame clan lives alongside their kikaiku in harmony, she said. That's really special. Are there other clans like yours? Yes, Shino answered. The Kamizuru clan from Iwagakure works with bees. Naruko's eyes lit up. That's amazing. I think it's sad some kids are scared of what they don't understand. Your bond is something to be proud of. She paused, then added kindly, just remember, your talents are strongest when paired with learning and teamwork. Before Shino could reply, a gentle shimmer of light appeared in front of Naruko. Koi, she said softly. The kikaiku paused, unable to pass through the glowing barrier. At that moment, Mizuki approached, looking surprised. Now, Mizuki said. You two shouldn't be using advanced techniques during practice. Naruko raised her hand politely. Sensei, I was only asking Shino to demonstrate how shinobi adapt and learn. Isn't understanding different abilities part of training? Mizuki hesitated, then smiled awkwardly. Well, when you put it that way. Carry on. Shino turned to Naruko, clearly impressed. She winked playfully. If you're curious why your kikaiku couldn't reach me, Naruko said quietly, it's because of my bloodline. For just a moment, soft glowing shapes appeared around her, calm and gentle like floating glass petals. It's called the Nothingness Bloodline, she explained. It lets me shape invisible tools to protect, lift, or move things, only when I choose to. I use it carefully. Shino nodded with respect. That's incredible, Naruko. She smiled warmly. You can know my real name and my secret. I trust you. Why me? He asked. Because I know what it's like to feel different, she said softly. And no one should face that alone. Dash. Later that day, Iruka clapped his hands. Time for physical training. Obstacle course time. Naruko ran with determination and joy, finishing with the highest score, not from competition, but from persistence. Even Sasuke and Sakura couldn't help but notice her effort. As the sun dipped low, Naruko headed home, humming, until Kuma gently called her name. Naruko, he said kindly. The Hokage would like you to meet with the council. They wish to understand your bloodline. Naruko sighed, then straightened her shoulders. All right. Let's talk. Dash. In the council chamber, Naruko stood tall, not angry, just confident. So, she said cheerfully, what would you like to know? We heard you have a unique ability, Koharu said carefully. I do, Naruko replied. And I've used it responsibly. Why weren't we informed sooner? Another asked. Naruko folded her arms, not in defiance, but resolve. Because I wanted to be treated like a person first, not a secret. The room grew quiet. I don't want special treatment, she continued. I want fairness. Access to shops, training, and kindness, just like everyone else. Hyashi spoke up calmly. She is right. We owe her respect. One by one, the clan leaders nodded. The Yamanaka clan agrees, said Inoiki. So do the Nara, added Shikaku. And the Akimichi, Choza smiled. The Aburame clan as well, Shibi said. Naruko blinked, surprised. The Hokage smiled warmly. Naruko, you've shown wisdom beyond your years. Konoha is stronger because of your heart. She smiled back, bright, hopeful, and proud. The Inuzuka clan nodded in agreement. The pup's choice makes sense, Sume said with a playful grin. Kushina frowned. I still don't understand. How can you expect this to be fair? Look at it from another perspective, Sume replied kindly. Your husband chose someone who could handle the responsibility well. He didn't pick your daughter because he wanted to protect her from too much danger. Sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that show how much someone cares. Kushina opened her mouth, but Naruko stepped forward, her bright blue eyes calm yet firm. Let's not argue, she said. Every clan has their thoughts, but we all want the same thing, to protect our village and the people we love. Kushina sighed and nodded slowly. The Namikaze clan disagrees, she said quietly. The Uchiha clan declines. The Sarutobi clan declines. Naruko raised her hands with a gentle smile. It's okay. Every opinion counts, but that doesn't change our goal. Let's focus on doing our best, no matter what anyone else says. Later that night, Itachi quietly entered Naruko's room. Naruko, he whispered. Yes, Itachi-ni-san? She asked, her ears pricking up. He knelt beside her and spoke softly. I need you to stay careful. Things are complicated in the village, and some adults may not always act fairly. But you are strong, and you have the heart to protect your friends. Watch over your friends, and don't let anyone discourage you. Naruko nodded, swallowing a lump in her throat. I understand, Itachi-ni-san. I'll be careful. Itachi smiled faintly and handed her a small token. This is for you. Remember, even when things seem unfair, your kindness and courage are your strongest weapons. The next day at the academy, the students buzzed with gossip about the Uchiha family. Naruko listened quietly, perched under a tree with her lunchbox. Did you hear about the Uchiha clan? A student whispered. Naruko tilted her head. No, what happened? Well, something changed last night. But Sasuke-kun is okay, they say, another student murmured. Naruko nodded thoughtfully, remembering Itachi's words. It's not our place to judge. What matters is how we treat each other, she murmured to herself. Soon, everyone filed into the classroom. Iruka-sensei greeted them warmly. Welcome back, Sasuke, he said kindly. Sasuke scowled faintly but nodded, taking his seat quietly. Naruko noticed him but decided to respect his space. At lunch, Naruko spotted Tenten quietly wiping tears. Hey, Bun Bun, Naruko called softly. Why are you crying? Ten startled, then tried to smile. Oh, Naruko-kun. Naruko sat beside her. Mouse-chan, come on. What's wrong? Ten sighed. Some kids in my class, they don't like me because I'm good with weapons. Everyone except Lee-san and Ayane-san seems annoyed. Naruko laughed gently. Then ignore them. Being skilled at something is a gift, not a reason to feel sad. People are often jealous when someone works hard and succeeds. Ten smiled shyly. Thanks, Naruko-kun. You always know what to say. Naruko winked. That's what friends are for. And Mouse-chan, remember, you're amazing just the way you are. Later, during training, Mizuki-sensei called students to test their shuriken skills. Sasuke went first, hitting every target perfectly. The class cheered. Now Tokiko-chan, Mizuki said kindly. Tokiko focused and threw her shuriken, landing close to the bullseye. Good job. Mizuki praised. Rutaxan, your turn, Mizuki said. Naruko picked up her shuriken, examined it carefully, and with calm precision, hit every target right in the center. Wow! The class gasped. How did you do that? Naruko shrugged with a grin. Practice, patience, and paying attention. A few students muttered that she must have cheated. Naruko looked at them calmly and said, if you think I cheated, remember, it's not luck that makes you strong, it's the effort you put in every day. Don't underestimate others, and don't doubt yourself. The class grew quiet, impressed by her words. Naruko sat back under the cherry blossom tree later, feeling at peace. She watched a raven fly across the sky and thought about Itachi's advice. You're right, Itachi-ni-san, she whispered. Kindness and courage are the strongest weapons of all. Just then, Sasuke appeared in front of her with his fangirls trailing behind. What do you want, Uchiha? Naruko asked, raising an eyebrow. I think maybe you're too skilled, Sasuke said slowly. My father always said the Uchiha were the best. Naruko laughed softly. Maybe your father once said that. But being the best isn't about showing off, it's about helping others and being true to yourself. Sasuke blinked, surprised at her calmness, while Naruko smiled warmly. Now, why don't we both practice together? I can teach you a few new tricks, if you like. Sasuke hesitated, then nodded slightly. Naruko knew that even the smallest act of kindness could start a friendship. And for her, that was the first step toward making the village a brighter place for everyone. Naruko folded her arms and looked calmly at Sasuke, her voice steady rather than sharp. Let's pause right there, she said. I don't need to talk about families or prove anything with tools or tricks. What matters is how we choose to grow. Sasuke frowned, clearly upset. You think you're better than me? Naruko shook her head, her expression gentle. No. I think everyone has something special. Strength isn't about being from a famous group or having a certain name. It's about effort, kindness, and believing in yourself. Sasuke looked away, struggling with his thoughts. You wouldn't understand. I do, Naruko replied softly. I felt overlooked too. But I decided that I wouldn't let that stop me from becoming someone I can be proud of. He hesitated, then said, then switch partners with me. I want to see what you can really do. Naruko smiled, not in challenge, but in encouragement. I don't need to compete with you to show who I am. But I will work alongside you if it helps us both improve. Sasuke opened his mouth to argue, then stopped. His shoulders relaxed just a little. Naruko added, and Ayane deserves a happy, peaceful life, just like all of us. Let's make choices that help each other, not hurt each other. For the first time, Sasuke didn't respond with anger. Instead, he nodded quietly. Sometimes, Naruko thought, real strength was choosing understanding over rivalry, and helping others grow alongside you. What did you say? Naruko whispered, her voice calm but steady. I said I'm going to make Ayane's school days miserable, came the careless reply. Naruko's heart tightened. Ayane Uchiha was quiet, thoughtful, and kind, someone who always sat near the window with a book in her hands and hope in her eyes. Her Sharingan was different, with colors reversed like a night sky dotted with stars, and because of that, some people treated her unfairly. Naruko had met Ayane one afternoon beneath the old cherry blossom tree near the academy. Ayane had been upset after classmates laughed at her. Naruko didn't say much that day, she just sat beside her and shared a snack. Sometimes, that was enough. She's just like you, a boy said smugly, folding his arms. Naruko clenched her hands, then slowly relaxed them. She took a deep breath. That's not an insult, Naruko said simply. That's a compliment. The group walked away, whispering among themselves, unaware that Naruko stood taller than before, not in anger, but in resolve. Dash. Seedling emoji, a test of character. Later that week, during academy practice, Naruko calmly requested to switch partners. The instructor nodded. Her new partner raised an eyebrow. You actually showed up. Naruko smiled politely. I did. Let's do our best. What followed wasn't a fight, it was a lesson. Naruko moved with focus and control, using balance and awareness instead of force. When her partner rushed forward, she stepped aside, guiding the momentum away without anyone getting hurt. The watching students gasped, not because someone fell, but because Naruko showed how strength could be gentle. The instructor clapped. Excellent control, Naruko. That's what true skill looks like. Naruko bowed respectfully and stepped back, her expression calm. Dash. Cherry blossom emoji, standing up kindly. As Naruko turned to leave, a practice tool landed harmlessly near her feet. How did you notice that so fast? A classmate asked, surprised. Naruko tilted her head. Because paying attention matters. But you embarrassed him. The girl protested. Naruko shook her head. No. I showed him how to improve. That's different. The instructor nodded approvingly. Well said. Dash. Glowing star emoji, a quiet conversation. Later, beneath the cherry blossom tree, a familiar voice greeted her. You didn't have to do that. For me. Naruko smiled warmly. I wanted to. Ayane sat beside her, the petals drifting gently around them. I'm learning to be stronger, Ayane said softly. Naruko nodded. Me too. And strength isn't about pushing people down, it's about helping them stand up. They shared a quiet laugh. Dash. Graduation cap emoji, graduation day. At last, graduation arrived. One by one, students proudly received their headbands. When Naruko's name was called, she stepped forward confidently. Please demonstrate the technique, the instructor said. Clone technique, Naruko announced. 3 bright, steady clones appeared beside her, each smiling. Well done, the instructor said. You pass. Naruko tied her headband around her arm, eyes shining. As she exited the academy, some villagers watched with uncertainty, but Naruko simply smiled back, warm and hopeful. She had earned her place. Dash. Rainbow emoji, and then. As Naruko stepped outside, she bumped gently into someone. You. The person said, surprised. Naruko blinked, then smiled. Well, she said cheerfully, looks like today just keeps getting more interesting. Naruko Uzumaki was known throughout the village as someone full of energy, curiosity, and determination. She carried a mysterious power inside her, but more importantly, she carried a hopeful heart that wanted to grow stronger and kinder every day. One evening, while walking quietly near the training grounds, Naruko sensed tension in the air. 2 teachers were arguing nearby, their voices raised with worry rather than anger. Naruko didn't rush in, she remembered her promise to herself, strength is not just power, it's wisdom. She stepped forward calmly and spoke with honesty. Something feels wrong, she said gently. Let's slow down and talk before anyone gets hurt. Her words surprised everyone. The tension faded, and the misunderstanding was resolved without anyone being harmed. One of the teachers smiled and said, Naruko, you've grown. You're learning when to act, and when to listen. That night, Naruko practiced her special ability in the forest, not to fight, but to understand herself better. Her power shimmered into the shape of glowing, invisible tools, symbols of promises and memories. She named them Oathlight and Starshade, reminders that bonds and forgiveness mattered just as much as skill. Instead of using them to battle, she practiced control, making the light brighter, steadier, and kinder. I don't want to be feared, she whispered. I want to protect and inspire. Dash. Seedling emoji, the next morning, seedling emoji. At the village council meeting, Naruko stood tall and spoke respectfully. I want to grow alongside this village, she said. But growth takes trust. I promise to use my gifts to help others, never to harm. Her honesty softened many hearts. Even those who once doubted her began to see her not as a mystery, but as a young hero learning her place in the world. Later, Naruko returned home, greeted warmly by friends who cared deeply for her. You look lighter today, one of them said. Naruko smiled. I think I finally understand something. Power doesn't decide who I am, my choices do. Naruko Uzumaki stood calmly in the council room, her hands folded in front of her. She wasn't angry. She wasn't smiling either. She was simply honest. I didn't speak sooner, Naruko said gently, because no one would have listened back then. People were hurting, grieving, and afraid. I didn't want to add more confusion. The room was quiet. Even the elders leaned forward to listen. I also stayed quiet to protect others, she continued. Some people might have been harmed if I spoke too soon. I believed it was better to wait until the truth could be shared safely. Kushina watched her carefully, surprised by Naruko's calm strength. Naruko took a breath. But secrets don't disappear when we ignore them. They only grow heavier. She turned toward the council table. I didn't come here to accuse anyone or cause pain. I came here so we can learn, grow, and do better, together. Mikoto nodded slowly, her expression thoughtful rather than angry. This village, Naruko said, should be built on trust. Not fear. Not rumors. Not silence. A villager spoke up, unsure. You expect us to believe one person? Naruko smiled softly. I don't want blind belief. I want understanding. That's why I brought records, letters, and witness accounts, checked and verified by multiple adults. She placed a neat stack of documents on the table. No drama. No shouting. Just truth. As the council reviewed them, realization slowly replaced doubt. I don't want punishment, Naruko added. I want responsibility. When mistakes happen, we should fix them, not repeat them. Iruka, sitting nearby with bandages from a recent accident, looked at her proudly. You've grown strong, he said warmly. Not just in skill, but in heart. Naruko chuckled. I learned that from you, sensei. The Hokage cleared his throat. Naruko. Thank you. You reminded us that leadership isn't about control. It's about care. The meeting ended not with fear, but with resolve. Later that day, Naruko visited the academy. Iruka smiled. Feeling better? Yeah, she said. The truth doesn't have to hurt if it's shared with kindness. Iruka nodded. Just remember, some people may still misunderstand you. Naruko grinned. That's okay. I'll keep walking forward. As she stepped outside, sunlight warmed her face. Naruko Uzumaki wasn't a weapon. She wasn't a threat. She was something far stronger. Sparkles emoji, a girl brave enough to choose compassion, even when it was hard, sparkles emoji. The kind of people who would go to great lengths to protect something or someone important. That was the lesson Naruko was beginning to understand. Her bright blue eyes sparkled with determination as she stepped into the classroom, where the chatter of newly minted Jinan filled the air. Sensei, what happened to you? Sakura asked, tilting her head in concern. Where is Mizuki-sensei? Iruka-sensei paused, looking at them with a gentle smile. Mizuki tried to take something he shouldn't, but we stopped him together. He's safe now, and the village is safe, too. But what matters most is that all of you are ready to begin your training as Jinan. Naruko's ears perked up. She had worked so hard to reach this moment. She was ready to show what she could do, not just for herself, but for her friends and the village. Flashback, team assignments. The Hokage called the Jonin together to assign new teams. Alright, Kurenai-san, who would you like? Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Shino Aburame, Kurenai said thoughtfully. They'll be a fantastic team for tracking and strategy. Each of them brings something unique. Asuma-kun? The Hokage asked next. I'll take the next generation of the Ino-Shikacho formation, Asuma replied with a calm smile. Their teamwork is exceptional, and they'll learn even more when working together. Finally, it was Kakashi's turn. You'll be assigned. Sarutobi began, puffing his pipe thoughtfully, Tokiko Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Rutaxan. Wait a minute. A voice said, snapping everyone's attention. Anko Mitarashi stepped forward, a bright dengo stick in her hand. I want Rutaxan. That kid's clever, quick, and full of potential. I've been looking for a student to mentor, and I think we'd be perfect together. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. I was planning to train him myself. Anko grinned, twirling the dengo. No way. He's got energy and skill that could use some fun guidance. The Hokage held up his hand. Enough. Here's the final decision. Team 7 will be led by Kakashi-sensei, and Naruko. You'll train with Anko. Both of you have great potential, and this will help you grow. Naruko's eyes widened. Training with Anko. She wasn't sure what to expect, But one thing was clear, she was ready for an adventure. Her journey as a Genin was just beginning, and she was determined to make every moment count. Naruko and the teams of Konoha. The room buzzed with chatter as Iruka-sensei called the students to attention. Alright, everyone. It's time to announce the new teams for this year. Listen carefully. One by one, he read off the names. Naruko, a bright-eyed girl with spiky blonde hair and a mischievous grin, peeked from the back of the classroom. When she heard her name, she felt a mix of excitement and nerves. Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Tokiko Namikaze. Team 8, Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Kiba Inuzuka. Team 10, Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, and Choji Akimichi. Iruka paused, then announced, Team 11. Naruko, you'll be joining Rutaxan. Naruko's blue eyes widened. Me? She whispered to herself, tilting her head. Rutaxan was known to be mysterious, serious, and a little intimidating. Iruka gave the class a gentle smile. You have 30 minutes before the next session. Use this time to get to know your teammates. Tokiko Namikaze, who had been sitting quietly nearby, walked over and plopped down beside Naruko. So, looks like we'll be teammates, huh? She said with a small, nervous smile. I'm Tokiko Namikaze. Nice to meet you. Naruko raised an eyebrow. Why are you talking to me, Namikaze? Don't you have someone else to bother? Tokiko chuckled and scratched the back of her head. Well, not really. Sakura keeps teasing me about Sasuke, and I've never really had a chance to talk to you. You always seem to be off on your own. Naruko crossed her arms. That's because I like figuring things out by myself. I don't really trust easily, Namikaze. Especially when I don't know someone. Tokiko looked serious. I get it. But I'm not here to cause trouble. My father and I might have a complicated past with you, but that's not my fault. I just want to be teammates, and nothing more. Naruko paused, studying her carefully. Finally, she said, all right. I'll work with you. But don't get any ideas about becoming best friends just yet. We're teammates, that's all. Tokiko smiled, relieved, and moved back to her own seat, thinking, wow. She really is serious about being careful with who she trusts. Across the room, Sakura's high-pitched voice squealed, wait, you're talking to Tokiko-chan? How dare you, Naruko? Naruko rolled her eyes. Mind your own business, Sakura. Focus on your own team. Sasuke, seated silently beside Sakura, simply smirked and shook his head, used to the chaos that seemed to follow Naruko wherever she went. Later, in the training hall, Anko Mitarashi gathered Team 11. Alright, let's do introductions. Say your names, what you like, what you dislike, hobbies, and dreams. Naruko, start us off. Naruko bounced slightly on her heels. I'm Naruko. I like running, climbing trees, training my ninja skills, and making new friends. Eventually. I dislike being underestimated and losing my snacks. My dream. I want to be the kind of ninja everyone can rely on, even when times are tough. Tokiko introduced herself next, carefully sharing her likes, hobbies, and dreams. Rutaxan, quiet as ever, simply said, I like solving problems and helping people. I dislike wasting time. My dream is to protect the village in my own way. Anko nodded, satisfied. Good. You three will work together to complete your missions. Remember, being a team means trusting each other, even when it's hard. Naruko exchanged a small, tentative smile with Tokiko. Alright. Let's do this, teammate. Tokiko grinned back. Yeah. Let's do our best. At home that evening, Tokiko returned to the Namikaze residence. Ka-san, I'm home. Kushina Namikaze rushed to hug her daughter. How was your day, sweetie? Did everything go okay? Tokiko smiled, her cheeks pink. It was interesting. Naruko is different. She doesn't trust easily, but I think she might actually be a good friend someday. Kushina nodded knowingly. Just give her time. Everyone has their own battles. The important thing is that you tried to understand her. Guys, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Octopus.